Coming up on OC News, the number of homeless in Orange County continues to rise. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti has a solution.
Plus, Compton native rapper Kendrick Lamar makes history. Starbucks is under fire for what appears to be a racially motivated incident in Philadelphia.
Oh, and first this weekend, Coachella rocked. Beyonce lit up the stage. We'll have highlights. These stories, plus a look at the crazy weather across the country. Another snowstorm? OC News has it right now.
Welcome to OC News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kendall Hill.
And I'm Matthew Kessler. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
Today's top story from just up the 405 freeway as Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti delivered his latest State of the City speech. With us in the studio, our reporter Riley Carroll has more information. Riley?
Thank you, Kendall. That's right. Our top story is coming out of our neighboring city to the north, Los Angeles. Mayor Eric Garcetti gave his State of the City address this morning, covering a wide range of topics, especially focusing on homelessness. The homeless epidemic is prominent for us here in Orange County as well, especially with the recent clearing of the homeless out of the Santa Ana riverbed. Garcetti said he will ask the City Council to allocate approximately $20 million to build temporary shelters for the homeless in each of LA's 15 council districts.
This week, thanks to the City Council, we will put in place an emergency shelter crisis declaration so we can build shelters across LA as quickly as possible, bypassing red tape and regulations that would slow down the urgency of that construction.
Now, the homeless issue that plagues both Los Angeles and Orange County has a lot to do with the, quote, not in my backyard mentality that many hold. While citizens in both Southern California regions are in favor of building housing for the homeless, they apparently don't really want it in their own backyard. Mayor Garcetti is hoping the incentive of cleaner streets and sidewalks free of homeless people will be enough to have these shelters built with the support of the community. Hopefully, if this plan is successful in Los Angeles, Orange County may be able to adopt a similar solution. That's the latest on our top story today. Back to you guys.
Coffee giant Starbucks is under fire after 2 black men were arrested last week for not making a purchase and refusing to leave the store. CEO Kevin Johnson apologized and traveled to Philadelphia, where he plans to meet the 2 men.
What did they get called for? Because there are 2 black guys sitting here meeting me? Yes.
This man arrived at a Philadelphia Starbucks store Thursday to find that the friends he was supposed to meet, 2 black men, were being arrested.
Well, what did they do?
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
Philadelphia police said Starbucks employees told them the 2 men did not buy anything and asked to use the bathroom, which they do not allow non-paying customers to access. The men said they were there waiting for their friend. Employees told them to leave. When the men did not, employees called police. Today, Starbucks announced the store manager is no longer working there. The company did not say whether she was fired or given another job.
She's a racist bigot. I'm sorry. I'm calling her that.
Protesters entered the store this morning calling for her termination.
What do we want? Liberation! When do we want that? Now!
But the Starbucks CEO said the blame is on him.
These 2 gentlemen did not deserve what happened, and we are accountable. I am accountable.
The Philadelphia police commissioner stands by what happened, but he added today the officers did not really want to make the arrest.
Just the mere fact that 3 different warnings to leave suggests that there wasn't a rush to judgment. I mean, the officers were in there for about 15 minutes, before an arrest was made. So that should just suggest that clearly that wasn't their first course of action that they were thinking of.
After transporting the men to a local precinct, the officers were told Starbucks was no longer interested in prosecuting, so the 2 men were released from custody. I'm Natasha Chen reporting.
History was made as Kendrick Lamar became the first rap artist to receive the Pulitzer Prize for his album Damn. Jessica Renteria has more details.
Kendrick Lamar has made history with the first rapper ever being able to earn the Pulitzer Prize. We have more on this and we get to hear about his achievement with other people.
I'm actually very excited. I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan, but I'm also a fan of real good hip hop, and I love his lyrics. I love the rhetoric that he provides to his fans. So congratulations, Kendrick.
Well, from the album Damn that I heard, from my perspective, I think that he deserves it because he speaks the truth, unlike most rappers that are just rapping about stuff that's going on, like their sex life and stuff, versus him, he talks about like real life and like real experiences.
Okay, and you know,
surprise? I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, like, Kendrick is probably like one of the best rappers in the last 10 years, like probably if not the best. So I mean, he deserved it for at least one of his albums.
So you heard it first here on OC News that Kendrick Lamar is made honorable with the award. Some people thought he was honorable, some people thought he wasn't. I'm Jessica Renturi reporting for OC News.
Airstrikes, interviews, and marathon runners are making news. Our own Vanessa has the latest on the nationwide and world.
Thanks, Matthew. To start off, former FBI Director James Comey sat down for a fiery ABC News interview with George Stephanopoulos last night. Comey lambasted President Trump, calling him morally unfit to be president. He also criticized his public comments on women.
A person who sees moral equivalence in Charlottesville, who talks about and treats women like they're pieces of meat, who lies constantly about matters big and small and insists the American people believe it, that person's not fit to be president of the United States.
Trump responded on Twitter and said, quote, "Slippery James Comey, a man who always ends up badly and out of whack. He is not smart. Will go down as the worst FBI director in history by far," end quote. Comey's new autobiographical book, A Higher Loyalty, is set for release Tuesday, April 17th. International relations are tense this week after the United States, the United Kingdom, and France launched a coordinated missile strike in Syria on Friday night. The airstrike was issued as a response to an alleged chemical weapons attack carried out by Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's regime in the city of Douma. The U.S., UK, and France identified their targets as a scientific research facility in the capital of Damascus and two chemical weapons equipment storage facilities outside the city of Homs. 105 missiles were launched, according to the Pentagon. Syrian officials claimed that 3 civilians were killed after several missiles intercepted via Syrian air defense systems. Russian and Chinese officials have condemned the strike. In national news, the Marine Corps made a historic step forward by nominating the first black woman for the rank of Brigadier General on April 10th. Colonel Lorna M. Mallock, currently the Deputy Director of Operations, Plans, and Policies, would be the first black woman to gain the title if she is confirmed. She has not made a public statement. The first black man to gain the position was Marine aviator Frank E. Peterson, Jr. in 1979. And in another first, an American woman won the Boston Marathon for the first time in 33 years this morning. Desiree Linden crossed the finish line after just 2 hours, 39 minutes, and 53 seconds. The entire race spans the length of 26 miles and 385 yards. The runners competed in 38-degree rainy weather with strong headwinds of 10 miles per hour. After hearing that, I'll never complain about my walk from the parking lot to campus ever again. That's all for your national and world news updates. Now back to Kendall and Matthew at the desk.
Earlier today, it was reported by officials at the Associated Press that California rejected the federal government's initial plan to send their National Guard to the Mexico-U.S. border because it is considered too closely tied to immigration enforcement. However, ABC News is reporting that National Guard spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Keegan says that state officials have not rejected anything and released a statement saying, quote, "The federal government has not yet responded," and added that the next step is for the federal government to respond by signing the memorandum of agreement, end quote. President Trump praised California Governor Jerry Brown on Twitter last week after Brown pledged to send 400 troops to the border as part of the Guard's third largest border mission since 2006. The president tweeted, quote, "California Governor Jerry Brown is doing the right thing and sending the National Guard to the border. Thank you, Jerry. Good move for the safety of our country," end quote. The president has previously mocked and criticized the governor on Twitter. Governor Brown insisted that the troops would have nothing to do with immigration enforcement. He did not say how he would distinguish between immigration work and going after criminal gangs and drug smugglers over the weekend. California told federal officials that troops would not participate in tasks such as remote control surveillance.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and there's an organization on campus that has taken time to inform students of the issue. Alicia Watt went to their event last week and has more on the upcoming events.
I'm out on Titan Walk, where the Women and Adults Re-Entry Center is holding one of their many events for April, which is Sexual Harassment Awareness Month. The Walk for Change event showcased multiple booths with different activities and prizes, all with a purpose: to teach students about sexual assault.
I hope that with the activities that students might learn something new aspects about sexual violence, characteristics, how to respond in a situation where they might be able to intervene and help someone out, especially to survivors on our campus, to make sure that they know that they're supported, that they're believed, and that there are resources here on campus that can help them if they wanted to get that type of support.
For the rest of the month, the center will be holding various workshops, presentations, and discussions on sexual assault. The center takes every month to focus on a different topic.
There's certain months that are celebrated, or awareness month. So, like for example, October is Violence Awareness Month. August, September, we do other programming that are just women related, gender related. November, we might focus on Native American Awareness Month and women's issues, men's issues. The next definitely big month for us is January, February, March. Spring is huge.
For more information, go and visit the Women and Adults Re-Entry Center in UH 205, or go and visit the hallway. They keep all of their posters here so we can keep up with events or programs that they offer. This is Alicia Watt with OC News.
Coming up next, we have the latest on weather. Part of the country is still in winter feels, and
coming up later in the show, you'll never guess what's going to be here tomorrow to commemorate Earth Week.
The places we will go.
Behind every seat is a story. Behind every story is the reason for transparency.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
here in Southern California, our weekend was mostly cloudy with 0 chance of rain as usual. The rest of the country is still dealing with winter. Matthew Kessler has more.
How you doing, Titans? It was cloudy here in Orange County, but the rest of the country was seeing, actually, temperature right now is 65 degrees with a low of 53, 9-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the west, I presume, and a humidity level of 47. Sunset is at 7 p.m. And 5-day forecast, we have 60s through Wednesday, partly cloudy Tuesday and Wednesday. We got highs on Friday and Saturday in the 70s. And yeah, a nationwide forecast.
A monster blizzard pounded parts of Wisconsin this weekend. We haven't seen snow amounts in years. Major snow fell in Green Bay and Appleton, according to the National Weather Service.
Just driving around, making sure everybody's safe. We're pulling people out, helping with a shovel, throwing our hazards on. Again, just being out there and taking care of our community.
Meanwhile, in Minnesota, more than a foot of snow fell in the Twin Cities. And local forecasters say this will be among the area's strongest snowstorms in history. Parts of South Dakota also received more than 12 inches of snow, but some residents are taking it in stride.
It's spring. Pretty soon it'll melt. Then we'll get some more. It'll be fine.
In Jefferson, Iowa, crews repairing damage from 80-mile-per-hour winds.
I was really shook up because I just had never experienced anything like that before.
The gusts tore roofs off buildings and knocked over a garage and an RV.
It was crazy and somewhat scary. I was like, holy buckets.
At least one confirmed fatality in a tornado that struck Greensboro, North Carolina, Sunday. In parts of Ohio and Michigan, strong winds and rain resulted in heavy flooding. Some residents were forced to evacuate after their homes were surrounded by water. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
As you could see, the East Coast got hammered. they weren't the only ones. Hawaii was hit really hard by a heavy rainstorm as well. Okay. Heavy rain dumped over 2 feet of water in just 24 hours, causing 40 refugees to be forced out of their homes. Visitors and tourists alike had to find shelter in Red Cross shelters around the island. Residents are trying to pick up the mess that the storm left and have a lot of work ahead of them. That's local news, national news. Now back to you in the studio, Kendall.
It's Earth Week, and before you go hug a tree, Alicia Watt has some information on upcoming events on campus. Alicia?
That's right, it's Earth Week, and the very first event that CSUF will be putting on will be right here in front of the Humanities Building at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It's a farmers market / sustainability expo. And because it's Earth Week, I went around and asked various students what Earth Week means to them. Let's hear what they had to say.
Earth Week to me is being aware of what we're doing to our planet and just making the right moves to take better care of it.
Earth Week just kind of means it's a week of appreciation for where we live, and we should learn to respect it and take care of it, and of course cherish what we have. Obviously we're not here very long, but while we are here we should try and make a difference in what we're doing with the earth and how we're treating it and what's going on with it.
I think it's about bringing awareness definitely to the general population about all the climate change and all the waste that we produce as societies, and I think it's to make sure that everybody's educated and that they understand that there is a global warming issue, and just so everybody's more environmental friendly.
Earth Week means a lot because in this week we learn about greenhouses and how our environment is getting affected by us, and how are we treating it bad and how we should treat it more better, you know.
So if you want to go to any of the events, go onto the Center of Sustainability's website and find the when and where for future events. That's all I have for tonight. This is Alicia on OC News.
Bill Cosby is in court today. The Avengers Infinity Wars set records highs in the box office, and another year of Coachella rocked this weekend. Lauren Esqueda is coming up with all the details.
Thanks, Matthew. Today, Bill Cosby is back in Pennsylvania court, where his accuser, Andrea Constand, is expecting to take the stand. The testimony began Friday, where Constand detailed his alleged sexual assault on her in 2004. Cosby claimed their sex was consensual and has pleaded not guilty to 3 charges of aggravated indecent assault. His first trial on the charges ended last year on a mistrial after a Pennsylvania jury could not come to a unanimous decision. Just one more week, Avengers fans. Avengers Infinity War releases next Monday, April 23rd. The movie breaks the record for highest advance ticket sales, surpassing Black Panther's record of $165 million for opening weekend. The film will feature all of the original Avengers characters who will be teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Coachella Weekend 1 of Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival has officially concluded, but the 2-weekend festival isn't over. The weekend, Eminem and Beyonce were a few of the top headliners for the 3-day festival. The weekend brought many memorable moments, including a surprise appearances from Kendrick, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, including a Destiny's Child reunion. That's all for entertainment. Back to you at the desk.
Playoff season is here. Stick around as we will bring you the latest in sports.
And we'll take a closer look at the concerns some students have about graduation.
I'm only 17. But I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change, a whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
The NHL and NBA playoffs started this weekend. Our analyst Matt is in the studio with the latest on the wild weekend. Matt?
Thanks, Kendall. Both the softball and baseball teams were in action over the weekend, with the softball team taking 2 out of 3 games against conference rival Long Beach State. The ladies lost their first game 11-2, but won their next 2 games by a total of 2 runs. The wins keep the team above 500, and they will look to roll their momentum into this weekend when they play at Hawaii. The baseball team was also on the diamond, playing a road series against San Diego State. The Titans lost 2 out of 3 games to move their record to 17-17 on the season. The boys will have a chance to move up in the standings with 8 games over the next 2 weeks and 6 of them being conference games. In other local baseball news, the Los Angeles Angels' hot start continued on Saturday and could only be cooled down by severe cold weather in Kansas City on Sunday. Snow postponed the game, and now the Angels will seek their 8th straight win against the Boston Red Sox on Tuesday at the Big A. The Red Sox are equally as hot, winning 13 out of their first 15 games on the season. Two-way starter Shohei Ohtani is slated to start for the Angels and has wins in his previous 2 outings. The only other team in Anaheim was also in action this weekend, dropping their 2nd straight game versus the San Jose Sharks at home. The Ducks went down 3-1 and looked like they could come back after Hampus Lindholm's slapshot goal, but it was too little too late, and now Ducks fans are worried about dropping the series. Historically, teams down 0-2 have only a 14% chance of advancing. The Ducks will try to turn their series around tonight in San Jose at 7:30. The only team from Los Angeles currently playing in the playoffs is also winless in their opening round. After dropping the first 2 games on the road, the Kings lost their home playoff opener last night 3-2 against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Kings held a 1-goal lead until the Golden Knights lashed out for 3 goals in the 3rd period, putting the Kings away despite a late score from Anze Kopitar. They will try to avoid the sweep tomorrow night at Staples Center. That's right, the LA Kings are the only playoff team in Los Angeles. But the NHL playoffs aren't the only games going on. For the first time since 1960, the NBA playoffs will not feature a team from Los Angeles. With 8 games over the weekend, let's check in on how a couple potential future Lakers did in their first-round matchup. Palmdale native Paul George lit up the scoreboard with a game-high 36 points by way of 8 threes in the Oklahoma City Thunder's 116-108 victory over the Utah Jazz on Saturday night. George shot 13 of 20 from the floor and also added 7 rebounds in their win. The other star perpetually linked to the Lakers has been Cavaliers forward LeBron James, who fell for the first time in the opening round of the playoffs since 2012. James-led teams have won 21 straight games in the first round before their 98-80 loss to the Indiana Pacers on Sunday. James did record his 20th career playoff triple-double with 24 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds, but the Cavs will now have to steal a game from the Pacers on the road if they want to win the series. The NBA playoffs continue tonight with the Miami Heat and Philadelphia 76ers tipping things off first before the San Antonio Spurs and Golden State Warriors match up later. That's it for sports today. Back to you two at the desk.
Graduation is approaching, and there's a lot to do to finish up the semester and get ready for commencement. But after that, what's next? Nikki Justice talked with seniors about the stress and what they're going through.
With graduation coming around the corner, I decided to ask students how they feel about post-graduation plans.
I haven't really thought about it. Honestly, I don't have any concerns. I think if I intern well, get good grades, and prepare properly, I have no worries. Everything will fall into place.
Graduating in general, just passing all my classes, and then like the whole college experience, that's probably it.
My general concerns typically have to do with the process of graduation, as I feel like students are pressured to go through all the different processes during the semester in general. So I feel like I had like a suggestion that maybe like the school should, instead of being fast paced, be give students about like 2 weeks after finals to do all the graduation processes, so it's not so stressful, because I can tell a lot of students are very stressed right now. My main concern post-graduation would be just finding a job in my field. Yeah, that'd be my main concern.
Finding a job after college is like my biggest concern, because it's competitive, and you know, there's other schools and then GPAs and stuff, so.
As you can see, there's a lot of different concerns, but for the most part, everyone's worrying about finding a job. I'm Nikki Justice with OC News.
Well, I'm looking forward to graduation. So exciting. Well, that's all we have for tonight.
Make sure to follow us on social media, handles at OC News CSUF. Have a great night.
OC News is sponsored in part by Univision Communications, Southwest Airlines, and Casanova McCann.